I thought my life was over at 45, not because something dramatic happened, not because I failed publicly, but because nothing happened. I woke up one morning, stared at the ceiling, and felt something heavier than fear: finality. It wasn't sadness exactly. It was the quiet belief that the best chapters were already written, and I was just rereading the leftovers. At 45, people stop asking what you want to be. They start assuming you already are what you're going to be. And that assumption almost killed something inside me. I remember thinking, this is it. This is the version of life I'm stuck with. Same routines, same conversations, same tired reflection in the mirror. I wasn't broken. I wasn't failing. I was finished, or at least that's what I believed. Nobody warns you how silently dreams die. They don't collapse. They fade. You postpone them because you're responsible. You delay them because others depend on you. You bury them under phrases like, be realistic and maybe later, and one day later becomes never. At 45, I wasn't chasing happiness anymore. I was managing disappointment. I told myself I should be grateful. I had a job, a roof, people who counted on me. But gratitude without fulfillment turns into resentment. And resentment is dangerous because it looks like maturity on the surface, while rotting you from the inside. I stopped dreaming because dreaming reminded me of what I didn't become. So I stayed busy, busy enough not to feel, busy enough not to think, busy enough not to ask hard questions. But time doesn't care about your distractions. It keeps moving. There's a moment that comes for many people in their 40s. It's not announced. It's not dramatic. You just look at yourself one day and feel disconnected. The face is familiar. The eyes are not. I saw someone who had survived everything but lived very little. That scared me more than failure ever did, because failure means you tried. This felt like I had slowly disappeared while still breathing. I realized something painful. I wasn't afraid of dying. I was afraid of never fully living before I did. Here's the biggest lie we're told: that there's a timeline for becoming who you're meant to be. By 45, society quietly expects you to accept your limitations, to stop reinventing, to stop hoping. Dreams are for the young. Stability is for the grown. But no one tells you the cost of that belief. It steals your curiosity. It shrinks your world. It convinces you that your story is already complete. And I believed that lie for years, until the day it stopped making sense. Late one night, sitting alone, I asked myself a question I had avoided my whole life. If nothing changes, can I live with this? Not survive, not tolerate. Live with it. The answer was immediate. No. That answer scared me. But it also woke me up, because it meant something important was still alive inside me. Dissatisfaction isn't a curse. It's a signal. And I had ignored it for too long. If you're listening right now and thinking, I'm too old to change, I missed my chance. It's too late for me. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you is the part nobody talks about. The part that changed everything. I didn't burn my life down. I didn't quit everything overnight. I made one decision. I stopped betraying myself. That's it. I stopped saying yes when I meant no. I stopped calling fear logic. I stopped waiting for permission to want more. It wasn't dramatic, but it was honest. And honesty is powerful. Change hurts more when you start late, because you're not just building something new, you're mourning what could have been. There were days regret hit me hard. What if I started earlier? What if I believed in myself sooner? But regret only becomes poison if you let it paralyze you. I turned it into fuel, not anger, not bitterness. Resolve. The hardest thing wasn't learning new skills, it was trusting myself again. Years of ignoring my instincts had damaged that relationship, so I rebuilt it slowly. Small promises, kept daily. Wake up earlier, move my body, learn one thing, speak one truth. Confidence didn't arrive first, action did. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When you change, not everyone claps. Some people prefer the version of you that needed their approval. Growth makes others uncomfortable because it reminds them of what they've avoided. I lost familiarity, but I gained alignment, and alignment feels like peace. I stopped seeing myself as someone who missed his chance. I became someone who refused to miss another one. That shift changes everything. You stop rushing, you stop comparing, you stop proving, you start choosing. 45 isn't the end. It's the moment clarity arrives. You know what drains you, you know what matters, you know what's fake. Youth has energy, age has precision, and precision is powerful. I stopped asking what's safe. I started asking what's meaningful. Comfort numbs. Purpose energizes, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. I stopped letting days blur together. Every morning became a choice. Not perfect, not easy, intentional. And intention makes ordinary days meaningful. Here's what surprised me most. I wasn't happier because life got easier. I was happier because I stopped lying to myself. Peace doesn't come from success. It comes from alignment. I forgave the version of me who waited. He did the best he could with what he knew. Blame keeps you stuck. Forgiveness frees you. If you're 45, 50, 60, hear this clearly. Your story isn't over. It's just waiting for honesty. The moment you stop pretending, life starts responding. I thought my life was over at 45. I was wrong. It was just beginning. The moment I decided my life was worth choosing, not someday. Now, because the most powerful decision you'll ever make is deciding that your life still matters. And it does.